explodes to the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Superman dive for number 9.
You're going to have the first one here. Now here comes Jameson Williams around. There's your trailer. That's who's got him in man. Alontae Taylor. Really nice job by Graham Glasgow finding his man. You know somebody's being added. They're playing man coverage. You could see as the first play.
What's going on? Playoffs? Yes, sir. We are in the playoffs. One playoff win down, and we are coming up on a second playoff game. You know what I'm saying? The city of Detroit is ecstatic right now. It's electricity in the city. Lions fever everywhere. What up? I am your host, Bruce Diggy, and I got my co-host Mark MJ Detroit. What's going on, Marcus? Man, how you feeling about how the Lions are doing, man?
It's been a crazy year, man. It's great to see the success they have in. Like you said, that's one down. We got a big game tomorrow against Tampa Bay. You can't help but feel good about that game against the team you already beat in their place. So you can't help but feel good about this matchup.
Yeah, man. I think it's gonna be a good matchup, and we'll get to that. But before we do, let's talk about last week's game, man. Last week's game was a good game. I think it was the tightest game all week. And then after the game, there was a lot of so-called controversy surrounding the game. First off, it was a pretty tight game, man. What did you think of the game?
Full disclosure, I watched the whole first half and the beginning of the third quarter, and then I just caught bits and pieces on the radio. But as far as I could come away with, the first half was a tale of the offense doing what they needed to do, and it seems like the second half was the defense. And I've been meaning to go back and look at it, but I know they said it was a lot of, speaking of controversy, there's a lot of controversy about how the first half ended with the Taylor Decker offsides, false start, controversial call. And then they said pretty much from there in the second half, they kind of just let the Lions defense get away with playing physical. What might have been considered penalties, they kind of let them just play and get away with it. So I know you said you kind of missed the first half, but you kind of caught the second half. So what's your take on that?
I did see that play, that the Taylor Decker play, and it was once again, you know, the Lions always get the bad stick of the bad calls, but they made up for it. They did. I feel if they did make up for it, because Taylor Decker clearly did not move on that play, and the Rams clearly did jump off sides on that play, and they did not call it. For some reason, they called that. The referees just don't like Taylor Decker, and they just feel like calling penalties on him just because sometimes. But yeah, you are absolutely correct. I saw bits and pieces I had something going on, and I saw bits and pieces of the first half. I saw what was going on, so but I wasn't real in depth with it. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't know that I was about to say Stafford. I didn't know that Goff was like 12 for 12 or some shit in the first half.
I think 10 for 10. I think he threw one away.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So I did see the offense moving the ball in the first half. I did know the offense was moving first half, and it was like back and forth. I thought it was going to be a shootout game at first because we were moving the ball and the Rams were moving the ball. And when I finally did get to sit down and watch the game in the second half, I get to golf a little bit later, but just in general, you know what I'm saying, the offense kind of stagnated. I got kind of nervous because I was like, man, at the way the game is looking, it's going to be whoever has the ball last. And Puka Nacua was going off. He was like the best receiver in football. But the defense stepped up. They held strong, like you said. Bend but don't break. That's like you've been saying, bend but don't break mentality. They were giving up big plays, but every time they got in the red zone, they held strong. So kudos to them. I hope this week they put a full game together. But kudos to them for playing the way they did.
Yeah, Puka Nacua is great, but yeah, that's what the Lions have kind of you've come to expect that. Well, you should have come to expect that from the Lions. When they go against top receivers, they are going to give up yards. Nacua had, I think, 180. Before that, CeeDee Lamb hit us for 200. Jefferson had well over 100 both of those games. That's been a running thing. So you wonder now. Mike Evans, that'd be interesting. That'll be interesting to see if Mike Evans goes off, because I don't think he really hurt us in the first game, and Mike Evans is prone to up and down games. He in my head, this guy either goes for 100 yards or he goes for like 15 yards, and it's like no in between with Mike Evans. But like I said, we kind of held him in check the first game. But as far as anything else from that game last week, it was just good to see everybody come in, do their thing. Everybody played their part. It was great that, like you said, that the defense held them to field goals. That was crucial. Dan Campbell believed in his kicker. That ended up being the difference in the game. Goff played a good game, and Stafford got sent back to LA.
So I know Dan Campbell be giving out game balls after the game, and I got a couple shout outs and game balls I want to give out myself, man. First, I want to give a game ball to, as you mentioned, the kicker. He's been shaky from 50 yards and back. You never know what you're gonna get with him. He went out there and knocked down a clutch, I want to say 54-yard field goal. And like you said, that's what won us the game. So I want to give a shout out and a game ball to him. Second of all, I want to give a shout out to Dan Campbell. Like you said, he called that field goal when we needed it. And towards the end of the game, he just outcoached Sean McVay. You know what I'm saying? He got out there, he made all the right moves. He called a hell of a game, man, and he won the coaching battle in that game. And finally, I want to give a shout out to and a game ball to Detroit fans, because Detroit fans came out, and I think we went out there and we broke a record for one of the loudest stadiums in the NFL playoff history or something like that. And we called Sean, and it was so loud in there that the crowd called Sean McVay to use two of their timeouts early in the game, which Dan Campbell capitalized late to end the game with. So I think he took one like right on a first drive and one like in the middle of the quarter, and all three of those factors came together, ended up being what ultimately won us the game. So shout out game balls to all three of those factors.
It was big. It was big. The noise was big. They said that we were the fourth loudest stadium from however far that goes back. But yeah, it was the fourth loudest stadium ever recorded for the NFL. As far as game balls, everybody did their thing. But the only guy I have to give it to is your boy Jared Goff, because everybody everybody did what they were supposed to do. I don't think anybody did anything extraordinary. Everybody just did their job, and really it was all on Goff. If it was all gonna come together, like everybody could do their job, but if Goff don't show up, we don't win that game. And that's not just that game, that's any game. That's quarterback, but if basically everybody start rolling in the same direction, you needed your leader to step up and take charge. And like you said, he didn't do anything spectacular in the second half, but at the same time, he didn't do anything to steer you off course either. He just kept it steady. The whole team kept it steady. Believe it or not, I don't know if you would characterize it as such, but I think they played conservative in the second half. And they just held on to the lead and didn't want to do anything crazy. They just held on to the lead and just brought it home. Of course, it was aggression. They was on the goal line in the first half, fourth down. They went for it. Hockenson. Wow. Laporta caught that touchdown. But other than that, I feel like he played a good game. He took that, like I said, he took that field goal. It was just a good game. That's all I got really for that.
Yeah, that's all I got too on that game. Speaking of Jared Goff and quarterbacks in general, there are a couple controversies surrounding that game after the game. There were controversies surrounding a lot of talk about Jared Goff, his future. Stafford with him being booed after the game, and Kirby Joseph as a dirty player. I wanted to get your thoughts on these three things, but before I let you get your side of it, I'll just tell you real quick. As far as I'm concerned, Stafford came out there. Yeah, he got booed, but what do you expect, man? I mean, it's not like because I had a passenger earlier today tell me that they don't think they should have booed him, and then you sent me a video of Darius Slay saying, "I feel like Detroit was out of line for them booing Stafford." I mean, what do you expect? It's not like the city hates Stafford. This city has always supported Stafford, but it just happens to be he was the guy that had the potential to put us out of the playoffs. And at that time and moment, he was the enemy. You know what I'm saying? So he got booed. It's not like people were coming out and they were throwing stuff at him, or they were talking bad about him, or they were saying anything. It was just a simple boo. It was just at that moment in time, he was the enemy. And I think, like, if Stafford comes back to the city any point in time, he won't still get booed. People will probably clap and applaud him and still give him the support they've been giving him at that moment. Because it's not like the city hates Stafford now. It was just the fact that at that moment in time, he was the enemy. And as far as Stafford's comments at the end of the game, which I didn't think was anything at all he said was he felt happy for the players. What do you expect him to say? Even though he was asked about the city, you know what I'm saying? It's like, so what? You know what I'm saying? He said he was happy for the players. He didn't say anything about the cities, but what do you expect him to say? He just lost a playoff game. You know what I'm saying? What do you expect him to say? Thank you, Detroit, for kicking my ass. I love y'all. Come kick the shit out of me every time you want to. And y'all booed him all game. So it's just like, who cares? You know what I'm saying? It didn't change my feelings one way or other about Stafford. And on the other side of that, flip side of that, Jared Goff. You know what I'm saying? Just like you said, I feel like Jared Goff deserves all the props, man. And like I've said in the past, I am rolling with Goff this year 100%. Goff is my quarterback. He has been everything you could have asked for this season. He goes out there, he wins games. Is Jared Goff the be-all, end-all, be-all? No. I mean, is Jared Goff my dream quarterback? No. Well, do I want to extend Jared Goff? No. But for right now, Jared Goff is my quarterback. Everybody wants to make it. You're either on one end or you're on the other end. Either you hate Jared Goff or you love Jared Goff. No, there's an in between. Both things can be true. I can love Jared Goff for the moment and not want him to be my quarterback of the future. You know what I'm saying? You should always be looking to upgrade a position. And while Jared Goff is good for the moment, he is not that guy that if we pay him or extend his contract and we lose the team that is around him, then he's still going to be the guy who wins his games. Jared Goff is not Eddie Kane Jr. You know what I'm saying? He is not more. Jared Goff is Eddie Kane Jr. He is not more important than the 5 heartbeats. You know what I'm saying? He cannot carry the team. Like, we need the team. The team doesn't need him. I mean, he needs the team. The team doesn't need him. And that's where I'm at with it. You know what I'm saying? He ain't David Ruffin. No, nobody is more important than the team. And you know what I'm saying? And if we pay him, we're gonna lose the team. So that's where I'm at with it. Stop. It's not you all in or you all out. And my final thing is get off Kirby Joseph's back, man. You know what I'm saying? If I'm a 270-pound guy or 230-pound guy, and you're a 130-pound guy, and we're running head up, and first off, the league says I can't hit you up top. So I'm already weary of trying to take you down. And I'm a little guy. You got 100 pounds on me. Of course I'm going to go low. So, I mean, the league is already limiting where you can hit guys. Already making it hard for the defense. It wasn't done purposely. Yeah, he hit the guy in the legs. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? What do you want him to do? It's hard. Everybody's moving a million miles a second. It wasn't done intentionally. It did hurt. I'm sure he feels bad about hurting the guy, but this is football and injuries happen. And I'm done, man. What are your thoughts? I know that was a lot.
I could work my way backwards. Kirby Joseph, I heard somebody say that they think they understand the play. Somebody said what I think is possible is that this play happened. Stafford was probably going to let it go, or he may have let it go, but Kirby was like flexing while Higbee was on the ground, and I think that's what set Stafford off. Yeah, I don't think it was a dirty hit. I mean, it was that's like you said, that's the NFL now. They're gonna go for your knees, and let's not forget that one of my biggest complaints about Stafford when he was here was that I swear I never saw Stafford hit a guy in space. I think I could go back to one of argument. I'm pretty sure it might have been with you, but I know Golden Tate used to get those yak yards a lot, and people was like, "Oh, well, look at Golden Tate," but it's like, yeah, Golden Tate, but I feel like every time Hockenson caught the ball, he was just running right into somebody, or anytime Calvin caught the ball, or any of these other receivers, Galladay turns out to be a trash receiver, but like they just never was hitting space. Like I don't know if that was a coordinator problem or a Stafford problem or what, but they used to just drive me crazy. And I mean that's just another example. Higbee got led right into Kirby Joseph. Somebody brought up a quote that Tom Brady had, which was like, "Hey, a lot of this is on these quarterbacks nowadays. Like you gotta be aware of where you sending your receiver." And Stafford has never really been great at doing that. Rolling into Stafford, it's like if I was in charge of the world, yeah, I would have had the Rams come out separately. I know teams don't really even do that no more. But like I would have somehow got Stafford to come out there by himself. Now, if he would have came out there by himself at some point, then he might have got I ain't gonna say he might have. He wasn't gonna get an ovation. No way on that day. The way that people have been there for hours, foaming at the mouth. First home playoff game in 30 years. It just was a bad draw for him for that to be the first time he come back there. But if it was up to me, yeah, I would have got him out there by himself at some point. I would have had the crowd give him a little ovation. I was, 5 years ready for Stafford to be gone, but at the same time, I could still appreciate, that he did put effort forth. It might not have been the exact effort that I wanted to see, but I can appreciate that he was here for 12 years and he did I don't want to take it too far. I'm assuming he did his best when he was here. I'll leave it at that. But that's not what the fans did. The fans booed him, and but he came out with his whole team. He a Ram now. We had the whole like you said, we had the whole Detroit Rams thing here last year or a couple years ago, and people still to this day will fight you about Stafford. People to this day will say it wasn't his fault.
Definitely.
But I think it was the booing, and his wife had a lot of bad interaction with the fans that she perceived it as bad interaction with the fans. I mean, they definitely booed her, but I think she took some of it like more personal than what it was, and so I'm sure she got in his ear before his little press conference. So they just left. I'm sure they just left Detroit with a sour taste in their mouth, and I can't blame them. Like you said, it doesn't change the way I feel about him. But like I said, at the end of the day, I never felt too great about him as it was. So it just, I think they're gonna play. I'm pretty sure the Rams are supposed to come here next year, and they'll have a video package for him, and all of this will be water under the bridge by then. Unless he did something crazy like, hey, I don't want no video package that came out and didn't acknowledge the fans. That would be awesome, but he's not going to do that. And as far as Goff, all I can say right now is if Goff wins this game today, he's getting an extension. Or today, I'm sorry, tomorrow.
I wouldn't be mad with a short extension, but just I'm not playing them long term, man, and I'm not paying them where I can't pay Stool, Hutch, St. Brown, and none of my players. I pay my other players. Extend them all you want, but do what you need to do to play other players too.
If you was Goff and the Lions offered you a 2-year or 3-year extension for like, I don't know, $50 million, but it's a team out there that's offering you like 5 at like 55. What would your incentive be to turn down that 5 at 55?
The fact that the way they're moving right now, the only reason it would be to me it would be whether do I want to get paid or do I want to win two more championships in the next couple of years, because the way they're moving now, they're looking like they got a shot at the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Whether they get there or not, is still up to circumstance. But you have a potential with the next couple of years with that 2-year contract to get to the Super Bowl for the next 2 years, because you made it this far this year, and next year potentially your team is going to get better. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna fill in those holes that you're missing, and the team will be completed next year because you're going to get that edge that you're missing. You're going to get that quarterback that you're missing, and you're protecting the offensive line. So it would depend on if you want the accolades or if you want the money. So that would be the only reason I could see for him to stay or to leave.
No, that's fair. I just wanted to throw that out there, see what you thought about it.
You know what I'm saying? And if it work out, then it'll work out. And if it don't, you know what I'm saying? I think either way, hopefully, it turns out that it's win-win for everybody, because if Goff decides to leave, then hopefully Hendon Hooker is everything that we thought he was, and he can step up and play that and play that role. But if he decides to stay, then we know what we got in Jared Goff. He's been giving it to us for the last, I'm gonna say 2 years, not 3 years, because I'm not gonna count the first year. He's been giving it to us for the last 2 years, and we'll get another year, another couple of years out of it until Hendon Hooker is ready, or we find somebody else.
The only danger I hear in that is something that I can't tell you how it's going to go or what's going to happen, but it will be if you mismanage that, it would be like the beginning of a collapse. And you just built this right here, but the worst case scenario is that you let Goff walk. Yeah, I guess you let him walk, right? You let him play out his contract. You let him walk. You bring in Hooker. Goff goes somewhere else, and Hooker gets hurt. And then the season turns into a throwaway. The fans are gonna go crazy because you had a quarterback here, you let him walk, and then the guys you brought in got hurt, and it's really the fans are gonna go crazy.
I mean, well, you always have potential to get hurt, but you know what I'm saying, that's with anything. Goff could get hurt tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
True.
And
honestly, it don't even have to be getting hurt though. It could be just Hooker is not what we want him to be.
Well, my whole thing about, because that's every Goff fan who is all in on it, who is completely in on Goff and completely out on Hendon Hooker. That's all of their go-to point. And my point is with that is, so you activated Hendon Hooker about 4 or 5 weeks ago. So you've seen him in practice. You've seen him, and you're going to see him in training camp next year. If you like what you see, then you take that chance. If you don't like what you see, I mean, you never truly going to know until they actually get in the game. But if you like what you see, I mean, but you're going to pick something up from watching him all this time. You know what I'm saying? You're going to pick up whether he has chemistry with the team, whether he can hit the shots that you want him to hit, whether he can do what you need him to do. You know what I'm saying? And you have a big sample size from 4 weeks from 4 weeks from today to, I will call it a whole year and a half to see what he can do. So the coaches, by the time the first game comes around next year, you should know what you got or what you're gonna do, what moves you want to make. You know what I'm saying? Whether he's whether Goff is worth his tenure, or and Hooker needs a little bit more time, or if he's the guy. You know what I'm saying? If he can bring to the same thing or better than what Goff, because all we need Hooker to do is be equal to or a little bit better than Goff. And I will say at the worst case scenario, Goff just doesn't fuck up.
I think if I was in charge, I would do what the Rams did to Goff, which is extend them. And eventually they extended him and they weren't happy with him, and then they traded him. And by that time, if he's just like in a rapid decline, again, do what the Rams did. You got to attach some first round picks to him and send them to another team that's in need of a quarterback. And if you think Hooker is the answer, you go with Hooker. Or if you don't think Hooker's ready, you extend him, you got a quarterback, and you got to play on both sides. I think that would be the best route to go.
My other thing that I don't think that nobody else is thinking of is that so next year, man, teams are kind of starting to catch up to what we're doing. And I think a lot of the limitations that golf has is the reason why, because Green Bay is getting better. Jordan Love has shown that he is going to become or he has the potential to become a competitive quarterback in this league. Um, Justin Fields, whether they decide to put some weapons around him or move in a new direction with a new quarterback, either way, the Bears are going to get better. The Bears are getting better. Um, the Vikings, um, they are going to either get rid of they're either going to get a number one of those top draft quarterbacks, or they're going to trade Kirk Cousins and get a potential high pick for him, and they're going to get them a quarterback. So our division is not going to be the same. Don't think we're going to just run over everybody and just be every year easily be the kings of the North like we did this year. These teams are going to improve and they're going to get better dramatically by next year. So the question would be is now that these teams are got film on golf and they know what we like to do, and they know golf's handicaps and what he can do and what he can't do. Just like Green Bay and the Bears figured out golf likes to throw over the middle, and they put their linebackers in the middle, and he ended up throwing 3 interceptions that game. When all the teams figured that out, what are they going to do? They're going to put their best. They're going to move their defense to protect the middle. So, you know what I'm saying? And that's another factor. You know what I'm saying? So I just think with a player like a Hendon Hooker, if he is what we think he is, and somebody that's mobile, and somebody that can throw the deep ball, and somebody that can throw that outside pass and step up in the pocket when need to, that opens your playbook tremendously.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's just that so the Hooker plan is that's going all out. I want to see what this team could be. I think this team could be Kansas City, vintage. That was like 2-3 years ago, but vintage Kansas City, light. Airing the ball out, putting up yards. Just a fun team to watch. People scared. We prime time. We're a prime time team that people want to watch. That's what Hendon Hooker at his full potential. With Jared Goff at his full potential, this team is like, ooh. The first thing that pops
I will give him. I will give him this. He's efficient.
Yeah, and that was the first thing that popped in my head. The first thing that popped in my head, that's a team that's not real fun to watch, but is extremely efficient and extremely wins, would be a vintage New England Patriots team. Yes. A great coach with a great efficient quarterback who doesn't do anything that's super flashy, but he just goes out there and gets the job done and gets the W. And I'm not going to invoke the name, but that's a similar style to how Goff is playing. It's a similar style to how Goff is playing. He's not mobile. He doesn't maneuver that pocket that well. He could maneuver it better. That's one thing. I don't need him to be an escape artist, but I would love it if he maneuvered that pocket a little bit better. But that being said, I agree that
he tripped over a toe.
I agree that the division is going to get better, but at the same time, the NFL is chaos right now. Like there are so many teams, and a lot of them are the teams that and props to the Lions for winning these games, but we ate off of all of these chaotic situations in the NFL this year. We beat the Chargers. They fired their whole front office and head coach. We beat the Raiders. Josh McDaniels gone. Kirk Cousins torn ACL. Justin Fields. I think we played Justin Fields both times, if I'm not mistaken, but he was hurt half of the year. So many quarterbacks got hurt this year. So many coaches have been fired. We beat the Falcons. They coach fired. We beat the Panthers. They coach fired. Like, there's so much instability in the league right now. And you could argue that this isn't the time to shake up stuff when you have one of the more stable teams in the league this year. And lo and behold, the Philadelphia Eagles just like crashed and burned the last 6-7 games of the season. So if you could beat the Buccaneers, and then next week, you go toe to toe with the 49ers, assuming the 49ers beat the Packers and assuming the Lions beat the Buccaneers. If you go toe to toe and then you are hesitant to move forward in the direction that you're already going, that's a gamble. And I know you love Dan Campbell and his love to gamble, but I don't know if it's worth the risk.
Listen, this is what I'll say about it. You know what I'm saying? What your point just kind of goes back to prove my point a little bit, what I was saying, because I agree with you. We did have a lot of luck this season. Travis Kelce was hurt. You know what I'm saying? Christian. Like I was saying, Kirk Cousins didn't play. To be fair, the Rams staff and the Raiders staff got fired after we played them. But you know what I'm saying? But just all year long, we ran into situations that benefited us, where teams were missing a lot of their good players when we played them. Justin Jefferson, Key Lyman, Aaron Jones didn't play in the first Green Bay game we played. I mean, yeah, but those things aren't going to happen necessarily next year. Next year, we're probably going to be facing Kansas City full strength, the Vikings full strength both times, Green Bay full strength both times. All these teams, there may be a season where we play all of these teams at full strength, where all of they stars are healthy. And my question is Jared Goff enough to beat these teams when we don't have luck on our side like that? You know what I'm saying? Now, and I don't want to just get down on Jared Goff. Like I said, I'm rocking with Jared Goff this year. This year, I'm all in with Jared Goff. Jared Goff is our guy, and right now I want to give him props for being clutch in the clutch moment. I feel the same way about Jared Goff as you feel about our defense. I feel like he's not the best, but he makes plays when he needs to. You know what I'm saying? He does what we need him to do. You know what I'm saying? And just like the last game, in the second half when I was watching him, I saw that old Jared Goff, that Jared Goff that came here the first year he was here, and that Jared Goff that threw three interceptions in the Bears game and the Green Bay game. But at the end of the game, he just happened to pull up his britches, put his big boy pants on, he pulled it together, and he pulled that game out. You know what I'm saying? But I did see him for a second. I was scared that he was gonna be all shaky and lose that game, but he pulled it out. He went back to he calmed down, he got himself together, and he went back to a clutch Jared Goff. So you know what I'm saying? I don't want to put Jared Goff down, but I do got concerns.
The last thing I'll say about it is to that point, about comparing Jared Goff to the defense. My thing with the defense is I feel if I had to choose between who I got more confidence on the field between the defense and Jared Goff, it's honestly Jared Goff. And I think that
I can see that. It's not a bar for bar comparison. It's just a similarity.
Yeah. And I feel like and part of that is not Jared Goff in itself. It's just the offense altogether. You obviously have more confidence in the offense as a whole than you do as the defense as a whole. But the thing is that I was pointing out somebody threw out, but what, imagine if we had Stafford in this offense, and when you think about it on Madden, like, oh man, that would be spectacular. This offense would be like 5 points better on Madden. But in reality, Jared Goff's play style for this team is very unique, and it suits it perfectly because Jared Goff doesn't take big shots like Stafford does. Jared Goff is, like I said, he's more of a calculated 10 yards at a time type of quarterback. His passes are gonna be somewhere around 10 yards. It might be a little short of 10 yards, might be a little over 10 yards, but he's just gonna methodically move down the field. And when you do that, you taking time off the clock, you keeping that other team's offense off the field, you taking care of the ball, and it's just a real efficient way to play football. And it tires the defense out, wears them down. It's just a staff. So I always go back to it, man. It's that Floyd Mayweather style where you just wear him down, and it's never really a knockout punch. We just keep it going. If anything, under the defense, that's where the defense comes in. It seems like the offense wears down the team and then puts the opposing offense in a situation, and that's when our defense comes out with a big play. That's our defense comes up with the knockout punch, and they really complement each other real well like that. And if you brought in, if you change the style, which might happen, assuming Ben Johnson leaves at some point, but if you change that style to where you try to shoot it out with people, we could definitely shoot it out with people, but you also gonna put your defense in situations that are not as favorable as they're in right now. But at the same time, the defense could get better and things could change. So there's no telling what's happening. I'm just basing all of this off of where we at now and what appears to be the safest route going forward.
But we will never. This is the last thing I'll say about it. We won't know until it happens. And from from my standpoint, what I'm assuming the best case scenario will be for me is Hendon Hooker is sitting on the bench right now, and he's seeing how Jared Goff is methodically taking the ball down the field, and he's getting time off the clock, and he's learning from Jared Goff, and he's seeing how we end games and we can control the game like we want to. But what if we could do that and control the game and play efficiently, and on top of that, when we needed to, we could throw the ball deep to Jamo?
It's an interesting thing. The thing that it kind of sounds like you just want him to be Jared Goff but better. Which if that was the case, then he kind of wouldn't be Jared Goff. He would be Jared Goff has come a long way in my head, and my only two problems with Jared Goff is that he's not consistent with the deep ball, and when he's in the pocket, when the pocket starts to collapse, he doesn't have good pocket presence. Let's just put it like that. You know what I'm saying? And if Jared Goff could do those two things, along with the way he plays now, I would be all in on Jared Goff. Yeah, no, I mean that's cool. That's cool. We'll see what happens. It'll be a great it'll be good to see. We ain't gonna really get no good read here, but if we do get to the 49ers, it'll be a real good test to how this season has progressed and where people are at now as far as pressure. And San Fran got a respectable defensive line. They could breed pressure. They got Bosa, but I mean the Rams had Donald, and for all the love Donald gets,
San Francisco is a way better defense than the LA Rams, though. And matter of fact, Tampa Bay is going to be a better defense than the Rams were. But you know what I'm saying? Like I said, for right now, I'm rocking with Goff. I have no problem with Goff. Goff is my quarterback right now, man. He's the guy. And you know what I'm saying? I'm all in on him right now. But we just spending enough time on Goff, man. What do you think about Tampa Bay?
Like I said, man, I can't. I thought they would lose to Tampa Bay when we did our prediction earlier in the season. Pointed out, you know, Baker could be dangerous. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. Defense was respectable, and the Lions went down there to Tampa Bay, blew them out 20-6. Did whatever they wanted to, and they did not even have. I don't even think they had Gibbs. I know they didn't have Montgomery, but they didn't have Gibbs. I don't think they had Gibbs either, because that was the Craig Reynolds game with the block.
They didn't have Gibbs. They didn't have Montgomery. They didn't have Brian Branch. They didn't have Frank Ragnow, and they didn't have CD Deuce.
Yeah, so I can't even which stuff like this is gonna turn around and be a close ass game, but honestly, I can't really even come up with a way that
Also, Jerry Jones won't be playing. It'll be Vildor and it'll be Vildor on the other side.
Yeah, I can't really put together a way that the Lions should lose this game. You know, they talked about it. You know, they said that the Buccaneers are playing better football than they were back then. But obviously, you can say the same thing for the Lions. Hutchinson said it himself. Like, these teams are so much different from what they were when they played back then. But at the end of the day, you went down to their place and you beat them in their place in like the fourth or fifth game of the season. So now we at the end of the season. Now we in playoffs. Fans just had their first victory. You know, the Lions just had a huge win over the Rams. And after the game, man, you listen to everybody talk about the game, and you know, it was somebody brought this to my attention the other day, but it was the classic Kobe interview. You know, hey Kobe, you guys had a great playoff game, blah blah blah, and all he just said was, "Hey, the job's not finished," and that's the mentality that the Lions got, man. The job's not finished. Yeah, we won, but the job's not finished, and it's a business trip, you know, but they're at home, so you know, I can't really put together a way that the Lions could lose this game.
So where I'm at with it is like this. I agree with everything you said because everybody else has been saying the same thing. You know what I'm saying? We should beat the Buccaneers. We do have a lot better players than we did. We did have a lot better players than we did last time we played them. And I all around think that the Lions are a better team than the Bucs. And I think we will beat the Buccaneers. But with that being said, I'm scared because I'm confident we'll beat them, but at the same time, I'm scared because you still got to play the games. I mean, on paper, everything sounds good, everything looks good, but you still got to play the games. It's the playoffs, and anything can happen in the playoffs. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's why we play the games, because you can have all the advantages in the world. We're at home. We got players that we didn't have last time. We got we beat them last time. You know what I'm saying? All these advantages are in our favor, but at the end of the day, I've seen the team have all the advantages in the world and lose a game. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm not overlooking Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is to be respected. I do think we'll win the game, but I'm not. I need us to come out and take them seriously, and treat them like any other team that we will face, and come on and play their hardest. Give them everything they got.
Would you rather play Tampa Bay or San Francisco?
Of course, Tampa Bay.
Would you rather play Tampa Bay or Green Bay?
Tampa Bay.
Would you rather play Tampa Bay or the Dallas Cowboys?
The Dallas Cowboys.
Would you rather play Tampa Bay or the Philadelphia Eagles?
The Eagles from the beginning of the year or the Eagles
I'm
recently?
talking about tomorrow. Would you rather play? All this is tomorrow. Would you rather play Tampa Bay or the Philadelphia Eagles?
The Eagles.
Okay, so you got Tampa Bay about right in the middle of the pack of NFC playoff teams.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, like I said. I mean, I think the Lions are better than them, but I don't think that they're to be taken lightly.
Well, I mean, it's one thing is to take it lightly. The other thing is better than them. Like I feel like those are two different things. You kind of assume that you shouldn't take any team lightly that's in the playoffs, but at the same time, it's all about matchups. Like I didn't want to play the Rams because I thought that was a terrible matchup. I didn't want to play the Seahawks because I thought that was a terrible matchup. But if you told me we had to play like the Saints or the Buccaneers or even the Packers, I would have even conceded the Packers. Like I would have felt much better about any of those matchups than playing the Rams because it was a terrible matchup. You have a great quarterback. You have a great quarterback and fantastic receivers. The Lions do not do well against teams like that. The only greater weakness we have than that is a mobile quarterback. So those are the things that would scare me. But I mean, it kind of just sounds like no matter who we play, we could play the Carolina Panthers and you'd be like, well, I don't want to overlook the Carolina Panthers because, on any given Sunday.
No, it's not. That's not what I'm saying because I definitely know we would beat the Panthers. Like if we play Atlanta, I know we would beat Atlanta. If we were playing like I wasn't scared of LA. I knew I knew we were going to beat LA, and even though it wasn't easy, I figured that we could beat LA. It's
like
just
you have more confidence. I feel like you have more confidence beating LA than you do beating Tampa Bay. That's the vibe you're giving me right now.
I'm more afraid of Tampa Bay's defense than I am of LA's defense. And their receivers to me are almost equal. Baker Mayfield is a step down from Stafford, but they still have two great receivers and they have a better defense than LA. And that's why I fear the Buccaneers a little bit more than I do LA. But I feel like we could beat both teams. But so my rankings right now would have been like this couldn't play out any better. So my rankings right now would be I will put LA last. This is the way I was scared of them. I will put LA last. I will put the Bucks next. I will put Green Bay in front of them, and then I will put San Francisco in front of them. That's the order in which I fear the teams.
Okay. No, that's fair. I was afraid of their defense earlier this year, especially when we was down people. But like I said, we went down there and put up 20 in their place. So I mean, I don't think that was a fluke or anything. I don't.
Well, I'm not saying it's a fluke. This is my whole point. You know what I'm saying? And this has always been my point. It's like I've been saying all year. I think we can beat any team you put in front of us if we take care of the ball and we do what we and it's that Lions team that you want to come out and play. What I don't want is that Lions team that comes out and turns the ball over 3 times, or that Lions team that comes out and is on fire in the first half and scores 3 points in the second half. Like you know what I'm saying, with receivers like that and a better defense, that can be dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that they still won't win the game, but you know what I'm saying, if you're not playing on all cylinders throughout the game, this is the playoffs, you know what I'm saying? If you're not playing on all cylinders throughout the whole game, you know what I'm saying, they can be dangerous. I still think they're gonna win. Like I said, I'm confident that they're gonna win. It's just a little iffy, you know what I'm saying? It's just a little scary.
I got you. I mean, I got you. I got you. I mean, it just pretty much sounds like
And like the players have been saying, all season, it's hard to beat a team twice in a year.
we beat the Vikings twice in a year.
Yeah, and we thought we was going to beat the Bears and the Packers twice in a year as well. We thought we was going to sweep the division.
People did. I didn't think that. Now I got them. I got the games. Reversed. I thought they would lose the first games and maybe win the second game. But yeah, I had them losing to the Packers and to the Bears. But they ended up winning those games, and then on the turnaround, yeah, they lost. But no, I mean, it just sounds like, you know, it just sounds like you just giving credit to any given Sunday, anything can happen. I'm not, like I said,
my whole point is I started off with saying I think the Lions will win. That was my lead off.
I got you. I got you. It's just I you know, cliches just bother me a little bit. Like somebody told me, like, if the Lions are gonna win, they gotta play better. Oh, okay. Thank you for that breakdown. That was very insightful.
But I mean, it may sound cliche, but that's just really how I feel about it. I feel like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a middle of the road team. You know what I'm saying? They can come out and they can play on fire, or they can come out and they can throw the ball and he can miss Mike Evans all game, or Mike Evans can come out and have 150-yard game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, what I will say is that Baker Mayfield cannot play worse than he did when he played us back earlier in the year, because he played terrible that game. He missed a bunch of receivers, and the Lions ended up capitalizing on that. When the Buccaneers made mistakes like that, the Lions capitalized on the opportunities, and that's how they built that lead up, because it was plenty of plays where the Buccaneers could have stayed in the game, but Baker just overthrew his receiver or underthrew his receiver. He just had a terrible game. And to your point, I don't think Baker's going to come out and play as bad as he did that week. Baker, I like Baker Mayfield more than the average person does. I like the type of quarterback that you know, he might not be the most athletic quarterback, but he's just going to go out there. He's going to give you everything he got and leave it all on the field. And I always love quarterbacks like that. But I just don't think that that's going to be enough to beat what he's going against tomorrow. To your point, you know, going in the Ford Field, it's going to be crazy. Right now the offense is playing so efficiently. I mean, J-Mo is running routes. He's running actual routes, you know, curls and stuff. I was like, oh, he hit Josh Reynolds on that curl. I was like, what? Number 9? That was J-Mo on a curl. Wow, he's moving up in the world. So I mean, Laporta should be more healthy. Gibbs wakes up and averages 5 yards a carry. Then you throw in Montgomery, you know, he'll give you 5 yards a carry. Our red zone's been efficient. We haven't been turning the ball over. And so, like, everything you say is like, I got no reason to. Oh my goodness! I have no reason to think that they just gonna wake up tomorrow and be like, oh snap, there's a game today. Like, I think they'll be ready.
No, I totally agree with you, man. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? I just don't like. Like I said, I think they will win. I expect the running game to come out and have a better game than they had last week, because the running game got kind of stagnant last week. And if Hutch continues to play like he's been playing the last 2 games, I think that will be the key to stopping the dangerous receivers that I've been saying from getting off, because Hutch has been after the quarterback these past days, and You may be adding Allen Houston to James Houston to the mix as well. So I
Shout out
expect
Allen,
them
shout out Allen Houston.
to but yeah, man, I expect them to have a good game. You know what I'm saying? It's just I'm just all my fears are not what I believe is gonna happen. It's just something that's in the back of my head.
Yeah, all your fears are because you are a fan of the team, and fans have butterflies the same way players have butterflies. So I understand it.
Yeah, if you ask me to put my money down, not that I'm bet on game because it's bad luck, but if you ask me to put my money down, I'm all in on the Lions. You know what I'm saying? I'm betting the money line and the points on the Lions. So you know what I'm saying? So I got confidence in the Lions. I think it's just playoff butterflies.
Yeah, I think they could. I think I'm not. I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a pretty lopsided game. Could it go to overtime? In the back of my mind, I think to your point, the worst case scenario, I think it could go to overtime, and it would be Kim Baker, like, just because at the end of the day, man. So I saw a clip on Twitter. Somebody said, which I thought was silly, but they said, let's get, this is our opportunity to get revenge on Baker for throwing this interception last year that would have got the Lions into the playoffs when he was playing Seattle. But I mean, that's Baker right there, though. Yeah, Baker, like I said, he's a fiery quarterback who's gonna go out there and give it your all. But the story of his career is he gonna go out there, he gonna give it your all, leave it all on the field, and at the end of the day, he gonna come up just short. And that's been the story of Baker's career. So if you told me that tomorrow was gonna be the day that guy was gonna change his track record and change his trajectory, who he is as a player against this Lions team, I'd be blown away. I think at the end of the day, he's gonna be Baker, and when the pressure gets turned up all the way,
With that being said, man, I think it would probably be, my prediction will be 33-21 or 30-21. Maybe even 33-24, something around like that number.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be, yeah, I'm with you. I think it'll be a double-digit victory. I don't know who gets the ball first, but I feel like the Lions score first, and they just don't look back. But I think they build a double-digit lead. I'm sure it gets close for a few minutes, and a big play comes, and boom, a defense makes a big play and turns into a route. So you want to score, I would say probably like 30, yeah, like 31, 13, 31, 16, something like that. 31-17. We go 31-17. I'll lock in on that.
Okay, that's fair. All right, well, with that being said, man, we can, unless you want to talk about the Pistons winning one game and then losing 7 more, but with that, man, we can go around the playoffs and just say, I think one game is actually on right now. We can just say who we think gonna win and what the matchups will be for next week.
Yeah. So I'm actually watching the Pistons game right now. They losing. They was hanging around. Just Giannis is just. I mean, Giannis is different, man. That guy, the Greek Freak, it's a perfect name for that guy. So yeah, that one game that's going on today is your Houston Texans are going to Baltimore playing the Ravens. Right now, Ravens got a 3-point lead. So I mean, we could go off of the live bet. Right now, the line is Whoa, the line just jumped. But right now, the Ravens are 12.5 favorite to win this game with a 3-point lead in the first quarter.
Well, even before you told me that score, I always believed that the Ravens will win this game. I love C.J. Stroud. I love what the Texans have done this year. But Lamar Jackson has got the experience. I mean, he's been here before, even though he usually, flutters out in playoffs around this time. This is his year, and the Ravens are going to the Super Bowl this year. I don't think the Texans or whoever they face next week, whoever they face next week is going to stop them. And I think this year is Lamar's year to make it to the Super Bowl.
Houston is just a team that you can't really count out. I think the Ravens are. I think the Ravens are going to win this game, but 12.5. I think if I could put money down right now, I might put money down on the Texans, just because.
I can respect that.
Yeah, just because Stroud is one thing I'll say about this guy, man, is that he will not accept being counted out. I don't think he's played. I don't know if he's played a team as good as the Ravens this year, and the Ravens can just turn a route on in the second. I think they was playing. I think that was Miami they was playing, and it was pretty close. And then next thing you look up, it's like 40 to 14 or something like that. So, but I think I would go with the Texans in the 12.5. But the Ravens, like you said, Ravens look like they focus right now.
All right.
Green Bay later on is playing San Fran, and San Fran is giving Green Bay 10.
I would love for Green Bay to win this game so we can have another home game next week. But unfortunately, I don't think that Green Bay wins this game. I think San Francisco comes out and they win this game. Green Bay has been playing pretty good, so I will give them. I do think they will. I don't think it will be a 7-point lead. Maybe more like. I don't think it will be a 10-point lead. Maybe more like 7. So I'll take Green Bay with the 10, but San Francisco will win that game.
All right. I'm gonna take Green. My fault. You said you took Green Bay, right?
Green Bay with the points, yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna take San Francisco. I think Green Bay on house money. They did beat Dallas, but I just think Green Bay is a good team that's getting slept on, and I don't think the 49ers sleep on teams. So I think there's going to be it goes without saying, but it's going to be a much tougher challenge than Dallas was. I think Dallas just got rocked, got hit in the mouth, and I just credit that to Mike McCarthy, because I can't stand Mike McCarthy as a coach. And I think he just didn't know what to do when the walls started crumbling, and he kept seeing Jerry Jones up on that jumbotron.
I think Dallas just are who we thought they were. You know what I'm saying? Dallas was a team that picked on lower class teams, and every single time they met a team bigger than them, they lost it. They lost the game, including the Lions game. So I think the Cowboys were who we thought they were, and they did the same thing they do every year. They get to the playoffs and they lose. And every time they faced a big opponent, they couldn't pull it off.
All right. Tampa Bay is coming to Detroit. Detroit giving 6.
We already went over that. I think I'm taking Detroit, and I think they cover.
I'm with you. Last game, Buffalo giving 2.5.
They play in Kansas City, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, man, I love Kansas City, man. I like Kansas City a lot, man. I respect Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes might be my favorite quarterback in the league, besides Lamar Jackson. But tonight is where their luck runs out, and Buffalo upsets the Kansas City Chiefs and goes on to the AFC Conference Championship to face Baltimore.
I mean, technically Buffalo were the favorite, but I see what you're saying. They ain't beat them.
Yeah,
they ain't beat them.
I think this is the year that Buffalo beats Kansas City. There we go. Yeah,
yeah, I'm with you on that. At some point, typically at some point the tide does turn, and even last week when Kansas City won, I can't remember who they beat, but when they won last week, Miami. It wasn't a spectacular game by Patrick Mahomes. I didn't watch the game, but the stats at the end was not Patrick Mahomes stats. I think he only had like one touchdown. So
it wasn't that good a game. It was cold, and Dolphins don't play good in the cold, and the Chiefs took advantage of that.
So I think if anything, I think like this game. To your Lions and Buccaneers point about like any given Sunday and something kind of crazy happening, that this will be the game for that. I'm picking Buffalo as well. The intangible thing to this is that the Chiefs have owned Buffalo for the past like 3 years, and it's something about like great players when they go against, that one team that's trying to, overtake them, and they go into another gear. Kansas City has just been so not Kansas City this year that I don't see it happening. But if Patrick Mahomes came out and he did throw like 3 touchdowns this game, that would be good to see, and it would be nice to see that, he still got that. I mean, obviously he still got it in him, but they got to get him some receivers. They go into the discount store on all their receivers this year. And Travis Kelce is, he's not getting no younger. So they're going to have to, and they lost Eric Bieniemy. So they're going to really have to go back to the drawing board on this passing game. But I'm with you. I'm taking Buffalo on this game.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to get to. That you said my point before I could even say it. While I am picking Kansas City to lose this year, based on the moves they make in the offseason, I think they will bounce back, and Patrick Mahomes will be back next year to reclaim his title. Depending on if they get rid of Kadarius Toney, whether Travis Kelce decides to retire, if he's still dating Taylor Swift or not, and whatever moves they decide to make as far as, like you said, receivers next year. So we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, that's all I got.
All right, man. Well, thanks for the support. Thanks for our fans that are checking out our videos. Continue to please, if you see us, watch us, like, subscribe, get our algorithm out there. If you're going to the game, act nutso, man. Go crazy, man. We need you out there. We helped win the game last year. Be a part of the game, man. Give us life. We get out there and make it electric. And with that, go Lions, one pride.